was draped in an inky blackness as Officer Jake Miller navigated his patrol car through the desolate highway. The dim glow of the dashboard illuminated his stern expression, the monotony of the night shift settling in his bones. Dispatch crackled to life, a static-filled voice reporting an abandoned car with its hazard lights blinking like distant fireflies. Weariness evaporated as adrenaline surged through him, and he redirected his course toward the mysterious scene. As Jake arrived, the car emerged from the shadows like a spectral relic. An old sedan, its rusted exterior seemed to absorb what little light there was. Hazard lights blinked with an almost rhythmic desperation. The night air was thick, charged with an unsettling stillness that made Jake uneasy. Exiting his patrol car, Jake's footsteps echoed eerily on the empty highway. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying an otherworldly chorus. He approached the abandoned vehicle, his flashlight slicing through the darkness. The windows were fogged, obscuring the interior. Heart pounding, he peered inside, finding it vacant. The air felt charged with an unspoken fear. A distant sound broke the silence, a soft, plaintive cry, like a baby's. Jake's breath caught in his throat. He listened, his senses heightened. The cry persisted, tugging at something primal within him, an instinctual concern for the vulnerable. Ignoring the voice of caution in his head, he set out towards the woods, from where the sound seemed to emanate. The trees loomed like spectral sentinels as Jake ventured deeper into the forest. The cry intensified, morphing into a haunting melody that echoed through the gnarled branches. His flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced with the rhythm of the unseen lament. Panic clawed at him, but an inexplicable compulsion urged him forward. A clearing emerged, bathed in an ethereal glow. Moonlight filtered through the canopy, revealing an abandoned cottage, its time-worn facade peering out from the foliage. The cry, now undeniably inhuman, echoed from within. Jake hesitated, glancing back at the impenetrable darkness he had traversed. The forest seemed to close in, and an ominous energy pulsed through the air. Cautiously, he pushed open the creaking door, the cry reaching a crescendo. The interior was suffused with an eerie glow, revealing an unsettling tableau. In the center of the room, a creature crouched, an amalgamation of shadows and nightmare, its form vaguely human, yet twisted and contorted. It cradled something in its arms, emitting the haunting cry that had lured Jake into its lair. The creature turned, its eyes, pools of darkness, locking onto Jake. The cry ceased abruptly, replaced by an unsettling silence. Fear gripped him as the creature extended its arms, revealing a grotesque mimicry of an infant, a dark, misshapen figure with empty, soulless eyes. The semblance of humanity twisted into something malevolent. A guttural voice echoed in Jake's mind, a chilling whisper that seemed to bypass his ears. "Protect," it murmured, the word resonating with a sinister intent. Paralyzed, Jake struggled against an unseen force, his limbs heavy as the creature approached. The creature placed the dark infant into Jake's arms, and an otherworldly chill coursed through him. It felt like cradling despair, a tangible embodiment of fear and anguish. The voice echoed again, commanding him to protect the abomination he held. Time seemed to warp as Jake stood in the cottage, a pawn ensnared by forces beyond comprehension. The cry resumed, now emanating from the grotesque infant he held. Its eyes bore into him, and a wicked smile curled on its twisted lips. The forest seemed to close in, the shadows morphing into contorted figures that watched with malevolent intent. As dawn approached, a spectral fog enveloped the clearing. Jake, now a mere shell of the officer who had responded to a routine call, stood alone in the cottage. The haunting cry faded into the morning mist, leaving behind an abandoned car on the highway, a silent witness to the malevolent forces that lurked in the shadows, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to heed the ominous call of the night.